So, 13th of March 2020, Friday, Estonia. State of emergency, day 1. The world is facing a pandemic, as the WHO put it. A pandemic caused by COVID-19 coronavirus disease. The disease had its first case here in Estonia on the 27th of February, so basically 2 weeks ago. So Estonia is a small country that's, let's say, south of Finland or east from Sweden. We have very frequent ferry connections with both Helsinki, the capital of Finland, and Stockholm, the capital of Sweden. Also, so Latvia is our southern neighbor and Russia is our eastern neighbor. The population of Estonia is approximately 1.3 million, and the capital, Tallinn, where I also live, has a population of roughly 430,000. So this is the first state of emergency that has happened in Estonia in its period of re-independence, which is basically last 29 years. So this has not been done before here. This is something completely new. The situation is changing day by day. So we'll try to give an overview of how things are proceeding around here. Wednesday, 11th of March, we had 17 cases. Yesterday, on the 12th of March, we ended up with 41 cases. So that's 24 new cases, which amounts to 141.18%. And today, on the 13th of March, today, Friday, so far there have been 38 new cases, which brings the total so far to 79. And that's an increase of 92.68% from yesterday. So we're definitely in the exponential growth phase, and obviously the reason why the government took these drastic measures. So depending on how it goes, we might hit the peak from like 2 weeks from now. Let's see. So just a short description of what the state of emergency here in Estonia means. So starting from Monday, schools are closed and all the lessons will be taught remotely. That includes universities, includes all hobby schools like music schools and so on. So important to note that while school is gonna be out from Monday, kindergartens are still working. All public gatherings or assemblies are forbidden. And this is all valid until the 1st of May, so basically 6 weeks, if there are no updates in the meantime. So until the 1st of May, all museums, cinemas and theaters are closed. I work in a theater, by the way, myself. And all concerts and conferences are cancelled. So my own work, I will be doing it remotely from my home, taking some home office time. Probably at least for 2 weeks, let's see. Also, all sporting events are banned. There are sanitary controls on the borders, and the sales for the Tallinn-Stockholm cruise ships have been stopped. Interestingly enough, libraries remain open, well, with some restrictions, but that's all subject to change. So I woke up today, checked the news, and didn't go downtown. I basically live like in this sleeper kind of district myself. Big apartment buildings and shopping malls, basically. So public transportation is still working, but since last night So let's say the first quarter of the bus is sealed and the first door is closed, so no one can really access the drivers and the drivers are not selling any tickets. That was not still the case Thursday morning. Public transportation, people are still using public transportation, I'd say a bit less, and it did seem like there's, well, quite a lot of traffic actually. So yeah, I guess people using more their personal cars. Check the pharmacies, no real lines there. People were buying paracetamol and other common symptom relief stuff. The pharmacies themselves, depending on the pharmacy, some of them had masks, some of them didn't, and they don't have any masks in stock, so they can't sell any masks to people. They did have rubber gloves, however, but people didn't seem to be that interested in them. And also no respirators in the construction stores. Someone heard in the pharmacy me asking about the masks and said that don't even bother with the construction stores because, you know, there's just empty shelves there, and yes, that's true. There was definitely a fair amount of stocking up in the supermarkets, quite long lines, and you can see the usual stuff that the shelves are becoming empty because, you know, well, the usual suspect toilet paper, but also people buying potatoes, flour, oatmeal, and stuff like that, canned food as well. But yeah, there's no shortage of supply, it's just that people buy the food faster than the stores can restock them. So by now, some of the main supermarkets are hiring more people to help with stocking the food. The government is assessing, besides everything else, of course, the economical damage. And so far, the rough estimates, you know, if this state of emergency will last until the 1st of May, the hotels' bookings are dropping rapidly. For example, restaurants are also empty, and so the estimate so far is that, you know, worst case scenario might see a 5% drop in the total GDP. So worst case scenario by current estimates is that instead of the 2% increase in GDP, we're going to have a 3% decrease. So the government is planning a massive expenditure program as well to help all the local entrepreneurs and companies that are going to take a severe hit with the current situation. They're talking about taking a loan up to €1 billion, which is also something that doesn't really happen around here. Just for context, the total GDP of Estonia is close to €30 billion. Meanwhile, in the world, things are changing really rapidly. So different European countries have changed their approaches really fast. We're hearing more and more about different countries closing schools and banning public events and so on. So today, for example, Spain also declared a state of emergency, and just recently the United States of America as well. Two other big takeaways from today is that the WHO now declared Europe as the center of the pandemic, and the global death toll has now risen over 5,000. So far, luckily, so that's it for today. Let's see what tomorrow brings. Life goes on.